Hey y'all, how you doing today? All right, we are back out in the garage again, as you can see. Um, got a lot going on today. Um, Back working on the 318, but I'm also working on my daily driver, my 92 D150, and so a lot of little stuff going on. But I have some results to show you. So here we go. All right. Been working on the bracket here just a little bit. As you can see, I've got all four bolts in it and they are tightened down. The alignment is looking pretty good. You know, when I get here, I can kind of eyeball the pulleys, and I know it doesn't look like it on the camera, but they do align up. I've had this bracket off, and I cut this out right here. There's a small piece of aluminum I cut out for that, and um, modified this bit, this little bit here. There was a little ear I cut off right there. So I'm hoping I can probably cut right here on this part of this bracket and clear it for the thermostat housing. The other thing I need to do, though, is I need to just temporarily, I'm just going to leave that sit there like that, and then I'm going to take my compressor, set it back up here. So let me get that, and here we go. The oh, I forgot to mention, son of a gun. Okay, the by cutting that part out right there, it allows this bracket to sit down to where these bolts over here are now in line, and I can run the bolts in. Before I couldn't, because that part of the thermostat housing of the intake manifold, that part right there had it jacked up, had the this bracket jacked up. So that was important to get that done. I'm having to lift the compressor here while holding the camera too, and okay, now I'm going to run a couple of bolts in this real quick, and that will give me the idea of where this thing is positioned at, and then that way I can figure out what do I need to do next. Okay. So let's see. Hold on a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, we're back, and I went ahead and tightened down the compressor here. And as you can see, the compressor is really, really close to the thermostat housing, which the thermostat housing is still not bolted up, as you can see down in there. So I'm going to have to do a little more work on the thermostat. I'm going to have to do some more work on the thermostat housing. I'm going to have to, I think what I'm going to have to do is cut it and angle it back, or angle it away from the AC compressor, and get that straightened out. So that's going to be some more stuff that'll come up next. The other thing is this right here. This is quite a little surprise. Okay, here's the situation. I was thinking the other day, I was thinking about, I was going to run a bracket back here on the back of the engine, on the back of this bracket here. And I was going to run it to one of those ears there where the engine mount bracket bolts to. But then I got to thinking, wait a minute. What about if I was to take this bracket, which actually sits right up here, okay? And this would like normally bolt to the back of the compressor to like the intake manifold, the big beer barrel intake manifold. But I thought, what about if I take and put this bracket like right here, okay, or like so, put it right here, and see it's like really close to working right here. So let me get the light over here so you can see a little better. Okay. So, yeah, see, thought, maybe I could do this, like so, and then modify this bracket to catch that other bolt right there, this one. So I would modify this position, this part of the bracket, cut it off, weld it back on at a different angle. Okay. So that's my thinking. And I thought it'd be kind of neat to just use this bracket like that. Now, so that gets me another step closer to getting all of this done. I still haven't done anything over here yet, so that's another little bit I got to get done. That's going to happen though. But it's just, it's a little bit at a time, and getting further along as I go. So, but all right, now enough of this. Let's go over here and let's check out my daily driver. Okay. Now, here, got a little issue. Not anything real bad. It's just that not long ago, I turned these rotors, put on new brake pads, and I used some stuff that was going to keep the brakes from making noise. And guess what? It didn't work. Well, it didn't work on the back pad, the pad that is facing the rotor. Or not, sorry, they both face the rotor, duh. I'm talking about the one that faces the caliper, or the caliper piston, rather. See, this one. Now, this thing I've been coating this thing with a disc brake quiet, which is what I did the first time, but maybe I just didn't put enough on there. So, now I've coated this thing quite a bit with this stuff. So I'm going to give it maybe just another little shot, and I'm going to put it on, because I need to get that thing back together. That truck is my daily driver, so if I don't have it running and driving, I've got problems. So here we go. All right. Now, what you do on these Dodge trucks like this is the back pad just sits in there like so. Okay, now make sure your pad is seated up there pretty good. And of course, yeah, I'm going to get that stuff on me. And I knew I was. And not my first rodeo. So, alright, now, this purple stuff, that is lubricant, okay? It's a very high temperature lubricant. Alright, now it's on here, and it'll be on here, on the caliper, once the caliper gets put on, which that's next. Now you notice my caliper is sitting here. Alright, so you need to have it supported some way so that you're not putting a lot of stress on the hose. So next is I'm going to put the caliper on. And let's see. Alright, as you can see right there. Sorry about that. Alright, you can see right there. Oh boy. All right. Now, do yourself a favor. When you do this, use something like that brake caliper or that brake anti-squeal. But also too, go through, clamp this pad to the caliper. This outer pad clamps to the caliper. It takes like 2 or 3 times to get these ears right here and here, and there's some up here too, to get them bent to fit this caliper. But once they're fit on there, they fit really well. Another thing is, take the time to take a pry bar and pry against the rotor to get some space to push the caliper piston back in its caliper, in the hole, in the cylinder. Okay? So, that's some tricks you can do to help yourself out. Now, I'm going to clean up this hardware real quick. As you can see, it's pretty dirty. Just going to give it a quick little cleanup, a little tidy, and get it presentable again. Okay? Daily driving makes these things really, really nasty. So, I'm going to pause this. I'll be right back. All right, y'all, we're back. I've got these retainers cleaned up, and I've got the bolts in them. Half-inch bolt, or half-inch head on the bolt, let's just say. So just run them down, tighten them down. I already got the lubricant on the caliper itself, so let's see. You'll see this little piece right here. This doesn't seem like much, but it's really, really super important. It does a really important job of keeping the pad, let me back up there, the inside pad from making a lot of noise. And I was looking, this one's actually working. This one down here isn't. So, I'm going to go and I'm going to pull these both back off. And I'm going to bend this little tab here, this part here. I'm going to bend that and get that to where it's pushing down on that pad and keeping it from rattling around. So that's what it's for, okay? All right, let's see. Be right back. Okay, y'all. I've got this one bent just a little bit. It's spring steel, so it's got some springiness to it. And so what you want it to do is you want it to have some spring. You want it to have that springiness to it. You don't want it to be, you know, just able to bend it with just like, you know, nothing. Okay, so that's what you want. Now, as far as these brakes is like working, you know, they were working perfectly. There was no issue with them working. They were working, yeah, perfectly. So, all right, I think it's already touching that pad. Yeah, that's more like it. I'll do the top one here. Now these two little bolts is all that holds this caliper on there. So they just keep the caliper, with this bracket, they just keep the caliper from moving around. That's all they do. You know, it's a pretty straightforward setup. Let me zoom back out. we go. So how I bend these things up is pretty simple. It's very straightforward. I just use a couple pliers. Nothing overly complex. Yeah, there we go. Doesn't take a lot. Okay, there we go. What you see right there. See how that all works right there? Okay. There we are. Done deal. Okay, that's done. All right, so double check them here real quick. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, that inside pad was loose in there, and it was kind of flopping and making noise, and it just was like, oh, it really drives you crazy when you spend a lot of time and effort to keep stuff like that from happening, and it happens anyway, and you're like, oh man. So anyway, okay, so this job is done. I'm just going to sock the wheel and tire back on, run the lug nuts down, tighten them down and everything like that, and get this thing off the jack stands right there, and get it down. And I'm also going to start changing the oil and filter on this. So a lot of little work to do on this. This is like I said, this is my daily driver, so I try to take very good care of this. I care about my vehicles. So anyway, all right. So let me go ahead and get this wheel on, and I'll pick back up with you all here in just a minute. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more on this bracket here for the 318, the $50 318, and I may have to go and cut. What I'm probably going to have to do on this is I'm probably going to have to cut it, and I'm going to have to angle it. I may do an angle cut and just like a pie cut, basically. Can I get it out? Okay, here we go. Yeah, what I'm probably going to do on this is I'm probably going to come in and cut like most of the way around, do a pie cut and tip this thing over to where it's leaning back towards the back of the engine, or maybe that away I can put a hose on it and it will clear the hose. The hose will clear the compressor, and there won't be no issue there. Now, the only downside to all this is kind of thin metal. It might be fine. I might be able to weld it just fine, but who knows, right? So what I'll probably do is put some sort of little piece of exhaust tubing around it and weld that on there. So it may not be all that pretty after it's done, but it'll be effective and working and not leaking everywhere. So that's going to be that'll be what works. All right, I'm going to pause this for just a minute and get this truck down off the jack stands. Okay, y'all, we're back, and I've modified this bracket just a little bit more to make room for the thermostat housing. So I'm going to try this thing on, and let's see where we're at. I tell you what, let me do something else here real quick, okay? I'll be right back. I promise I'll get you a better view. Okay, y'all, we're back, and I done a little more cutting on this bracket right here. Let me get my hand over there. See right there where my thumb is touching. I cut that back some more. So I'm going to put this on and see if this works. Put this on, see if it works a little bit better. So here we go. I'll try to keep myself out of the way so I'm not blocking the view of the bracket going on the engine. If you do this swap yourself, it's important to get the Magnum timing cover and this bracket here. Okay, and then of course all the other little accessories. Okay, so it's important to get that. All right, bolts. We need some bolts. Let's see. Nope. Okay. Started right there. Now, this bracket needs to be cleaned up, so, and I know it. So, you don't have to tell me. I mean, I'm pretty well aware it looks a little rough. It could use some cleaning. So, that's on the to-do list. Okay, so. Alright, get my little impact here. My little drill, and I'm going to run these bolts down, and all right. Okay, let's see. We've got more clearance now for the thermostat housing. Still not perfect, but it's tremendously better. Yeah, we're a lot closer now. Still not good enough, but it's closer. So, let you see without the AC compressor on there. As you can see, there's a pointy part right there. That's getting right into this right here. Like I was saying earlier, I'm probably going to have to do a pie cut on this, angle this thing back to get it away from the compressor. When I do, I may have to put a little dent in it right there to clear this bracket right here. I may be able to grind on that bracket just a little bit more, but not much more, because I'm getting down to the nitty-gritty here. I'm not even entirely sure that this is going to work over a long period of time. I mean, I may have some issues there. Hopefully I don't, but you know, who's to know? You know, but like I said, I will be supporting the top of this bracket. Like I've said before, I will be supporting the top of this bracket. I'll have a bracket that'll run down to here and bolt to the intake manifold. I'll probably do something similar from the top of the compressor to the intake manifold over here. So to, you know, give it some sort of rigidity, you know. But let me put the AC compressor on. Let's set y'all over here. So here we go. So I'm not even going to bother with tightening the bolts down. I'm just going to get them started. So now you may see You may have seen this in the background. I can use this, and this is not completely ruled out. I mean, I know it looks like hell, but I can get better looking ones of these. I was just kind of leaning more towards this. I think the metal is a little thicker, to be brutally honest. I mean, it's definitely in better shape inside, but you know, but anyway. So let's try this. Yeah, it's okay. It's pretty bad. Let me get a light over here so you can see a little bit better. Oh yeah, it's pretty horrific. Yeah. And you can see right there, it's not even going. It's not even getting anywhere near being close. So, I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go with a Magnum version on this. Might just be a little more straightforward and hassle-free for me. See, if you look at the Magnum one, it's already tilted to this. It's already tilted this way towards me here, so which you can reverse this either way, but okay. Note to self, put this in before you put the compressor on. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, the AC compressor is definitely causing me a lot of issues right now. Yeah, it's not much better here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut this thing, and do a little pie cut on it, like I said, and see what we got. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, we're back, and as you can see, I've went and I've cut the thermostat housing right there. This is like, basically it's like exhaust tubing. So as you can see, I am very, very close to being able to just bolt it right down. So I went and I ground this off with a file real quick, and there we are. So I guess the next thing is doing some welding on this and getting that thing to seal and everything like that. As you can see, I've got a nice little gap there, but it's not a big deal. And then I'm going to probably put this on a flat surface and plane it really good. Make sure that thing is not got any warps or nothing, no hoops or nothing there. Nothing that I have to be worried about. Okay. All right, it is getting late, and I have got work tomorrow. So, oh my God, this video is on. So, all right. As you can tell, it's really humid out here. It is like it's terrible. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I should have said this much earlier. We are over 330 subscribers, and it's all thanks to you all. Okay, you know, y'all keep driving it up there, and I really appreciate it. It's just amazing. I mean, I when I started this channel, you know, I couldn't imagine 300 subscribers. I couldn't imagine, you know, I couldn't imagine 200, and here we are. We're over 330. So, wow. Okay, amazing. But thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. You know, as usual, I will always keep cranking these videos out and trying to bring you all, you know, updates on stuff like this $50 318, the 360, my truck, my Barracuda, on and on and on and on. The Ram Charger, you know, I haven't forgotten about that. I've just got to order some parts for that thing, and it's kind of on the back burner. So, but if you have any questions about it or any of these other videos, any of these other projects, any of these other videos, just feel free to drop a comment down below. I'll do the very best I can to answer your questions as much as you know, as quickly as possible. But you know, I always appreciate all the feedback and all the back and forth comments and ideas and everything like that. So I'm always going to be very thankful for that. So, but yes, thankful. So anyway, thank you very much. Have yourselves a great one, and God bless.